Mikey Williams, you know who he is. He's one of the most talented and best young players in the entire world. There's really no in-betweens when you're talking about Mikey. You either love him or you hate him. Not too many people talk about how crazy and fast his rise to the top was though. He came onto the scene out of nowhere. In middle school, some people knew him, but not like it was his freshman year. From his 8th grade to his 9th grade year, he went from an unknown hooper to a household name. There's a reason for that, and I wouldn't even label or call him as an overnight success because he slowly or quickly built it. But however, with that being said, there was one day in particular that really changed his entire life. We're gonna talk all about it and dive deep into detail, but first, if you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Join the family. We're on the road to 100K. I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Some people would say that Mikey started to get this fame and notoriety in 8th grade when he played alongside Bronny James. This was also at the same time when Mikey himself developed a pretty good relationship with LeBron. There was a lot of times where LeBron was seen talking to Mikey and giving him advice. But even though Mikey was playing alongside of Bronny, the main focal point was still on Bronny James. And in 7th and 8th grade, ironically, no one really talked about Mikey that much. Well, at least like they do now. The crazy thing about all this was, it's not like he wasn't a good player in middle school. He was always regarded as a top player. In my personal opinion, he just really never got the love he deserved in middle school, but that quickly, and I mean quickly, changed. Let me give you a brief backstory. I'm sure half of you know this, but I'm also sure the other half don't. When he was just in middle school, he was already dunking. Now pump the brakes before everyone runs to the comments and say, oh, I was dunking in middle school. The thing with Mikey was that he wasn't 6'4" or 6'5". He was only roughly 6 foot. So for him to be dunking at that age and already being that athletically gifted was unreal. Also, let me make this very clear. I'm not talking about a rim grazer. He was throwing down windmills, tomahawks, and off the backboard self alley-oops. I'm not sure if I can emphasize this enough. I just want you to understand that Mikey was not an average middle school hooper. The gap between him and his competition wasn't even close. Like I've already stated earlier in this video, people still wasn't talking about him. Flash forward in time to his freshman year of high school basketball, this is when Mikey's life changed forever. It was just your typical Friday night. Mikey was playing for his high school varsity team as a freshman and they had a game. Going into this game, everyone knew he was gonna go off, but not quite like this. He put his team on his back and took them to a 116-42 win. And in that game, he scored 77 points. So yes, he scored 77 and they held the other team to 42. This wasn't even a game that you could dream of having. This was above that. He was electric from everywhere on the field. 3 points, dunks, mid-ranges, you call it. Or not you call it, but you name it. You get what I'm trying to say. Those 77 points broke the California San Diego section single game record. But hold on. I think we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. Let's throw it back to the games prior. In his high school debut, his first game as a high schooler on November 20th, he dropped 41 points. If you don't think that's impressive, only 3 nights later, he went for 50. 41 and 50 within 3 days. And if that wasn't enough for you, right after he topped those performances with 51 against Brawley on a Thursday night. Those 3 scoring performances were before the 77-point game. So before people try to say this was a fluke, I'm just letting you know this was bound to happen. This isn't one of those cases where he's a one-hit wonder and he averages 10 to 15 points per game and randomly he goes off. He was putting up crazy numbers before that game. I need to continue to remind you that this was a freshman on varsity. Most freshmen and even sophomores and some juniors are on JV and can't even do that. Through his first 9 games as a freshman, he averaged an incredible 35 points per game. Shortly after that 77-point performance was posted all over social media, the followers and fans and media hype came. His fan base and following went way up on every social media account. He was getting interview after interview. He was on every platform you can name: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. People were literally going crazy about this, and it's because he wasn't even a junior, senior, or a sophomore. He was only a 9th grader. Here's what his own head coach had to say about the game. I was coaching at Crawford when Shelly broke the record, but this was completely different. Mikey got hot in the 3rd quarter and the team wanted him to get the record. I was leery because he got a little hurt earlier in a tournament at Corona Centennial, but the gym was packed, the crowd was going nuts, and Mikey couldn't miss. Lay-ins, dunks, and 3-pointers. So if this historic performance couldn't have got any better, apparently according to his coach, he was hurt earlier before this. Before we go any farther, we just gotta clap it up. I don't care if you hate this dude, we gotta give him some respect. The fact that we're now finding out that he might have been a little hurt and nicked up before this game is just remarkable. When something like this happens though, people don't want to believe it and they don't want to give a player a hype and they look for any reason to downgrade them. Every single game after that, people were looking for reasons to say why he's not good and that wasn't a good game. But props to Mikey, every single game after that, he went out there and he had that killer mentality. He really never disappointed and he averaged 30 points that entire season. I gotta touch back on that game though because that's what really solidified him to where he is today. This is how much of a legend he is at such a young age. I want you to understand this. Even if he fell off right now and never played basketball again, people would talk about him for years. This dude is not an average hooper. He is built different, physically, athletically, and just his whole mindset. To go along with all the media hype, there was article after article after article after article written about him. Not just people in the United States, but people around the world were talking about this game. Even NBA players took notice to this. When you think about or even talk about Mikey Williams, a lot of things come to your mind, but some people forget that he did drop 77, and that's what really made him who he is today. What separated him from other hoopers is that he used that opportunity of dropping 77 and just continued to build on it, and he's still building on it right now. To put it more into perspective for you guys, it's like when you have an opportunity and you capitalize. Well, it's not really what you do right there, it's what you do after. Can you continue to build on it? And he's done just that. I know it's 2021 and for some odd reason it's popular to hate on people and try to bring him down, but I'm giving him his props this video. He does not get enough credit for what he's done at such a young age. He's so mature, way more mature than other 10th graders I've seen and talked to. Another thing too, since I brought it up, he handles the hate very well. That's good too, because it's going to prepare him for other things in life. I'm wishing Mikey and his family nothing but the best of luck in their basketball career or whatever he chooses to do because hey, he's special. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about Mikey and will he go to college? Will he make it to the NBA? Let me know. But with all that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, join the family. We're on the road to 100K. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.